the road less traveled. In life, you know, everybody wants to be successful, right? I mean, everybody wants success. You know, everybody wants to be happy. You know, everybody wants to be able to travel and do the things that they really enjoy in life. But very few actually have that happen. Why? Why is it that some have all those things and others do not? Well, that's really what we're going to be talking about when we talk about the road less traveled, because the road less traveled is the road that you only get to travel if you change who you are and what you look at in life. In other words, if you believe you're going to expect certain things, then certain things happen to you. So tonight, what we're going to be doing with this series is we're going to be breaking into three components. First part's going to be some announcements. I'm going to get those out of the way, and some of them are kind of exciting. The second part is going to be a little bit of training that will help everybody, you know, be able to go out and be successful with the good life. And the third part is going to be a little bit of just what it takes, you know, from a mindset to actually go out and become truly successful in life, to have all those things that you want, to be able to travel the world, to do the things what, you know, when you want and how you want, all the things we all just so desperately would like to have. We're going to start sharing with you this tonight and in the months coming, how to make that a reality. So let's get started. To start with, I got some announcements I want to get out of the way. These are all exciting things, though. Obviously, the first thing has to do with Atlanta. I'll be coming up there on Saturday, September the 9th. I will be there. I think the meeting's at 11 a.m. It's at the Crown Plaza. And guys, this meeting needs to really start, you know, the fall. You know, everybody's gone back to school. Everybody's ready to go back to work. We're going to have some unbelievable stuff happen there, some great announcements. So I'm going to be there. Bring everybody that you can. You know, just get, you know, as many guests as you can. As a matter of fact, we got a little gift for the person that brings the most people to the Atlanta event. They are going to win a 3-night stay at our Vegas convention, and all their convention costs will be paid for. So that'll be for one person, and then we're just going to have a draw for somebody else, just somebody lucky, a lucky individual in the crowd that will also win a 3-night stay in Vegas and their convention cost. So I'll see you guys there on September the 9th, and let's make it an exciting event and the beginning of an exciting fall to our year. Secondly, I want to talk about the launch of the Philippines. I mentioned this last week, and the fact that right now, if you have somebody that you want to get involved, all they have to do, if you know somebody in the Philippines, is they just go to the pre-reg site, which we give you that address already. And if you need it, all you can do is go into the Good Life, and it's there. And it's just prereg.goodlifeusa.com. You go there, click on the Philippines, and if you've got somebody in the Philippines, all it has to happen right now is they take your enroller ID and they go in and they insert themselves into the tree, because they're actually being inserted into the tree right now as we're building between now and the cutoff date, which is September the 23rd. Now, if you've got maybe you know somebody here that you want to sign up as an IBO that knows people in the Philippines and you don't, remember, you're going to be taken along with that person. So all you have to do is go to that individual here in the United States and go, hey, if you want to build in the Philippines, you can do it starting today, starting right this minute. All you've got to do is sign up. You know, they personally enroll under you as an IPO. Now they do the same thing. They reach out to the people they know in the Philippines. They use their enroller ID, of course, and they give them their enroller ID, and they're starting to build an organization in the Philippines. And remember, when they send this out to 10 people in the Philippines, those 10 can go send it out to 1,000 people, send it to 10,000 people, or whatever happens. So again, that's in place, guys. But this pre-registration in the Philippines actually ends on September 23rd, and that's when we actually build the starting tree for the Philippines. All right, so that's taken care of. Next thing, the presentation. You know, we've been working on getting this presentation finished for all of you so that you can actually start doing more Good Life meetings. And whether you do them at home with small groups, or you do big meetings, or you do one-on-ones, you're going to have this presentation. And it's basically the Good Life opportunity with my voice talking about what the opportunity is all about. Now, this is not the final version. We just want to get one up there. So we've been promising it will be up this week. It will be up sometime this week. It'll be in your back office, and you'll be able to download it. Now, what we're going to be doing is taking this initial presentation, refining it, and then we're going to take it into the studio and build a really, really first-class presentation with professional voices. But I think the one I'm doing is going to be fine. It should be at least exciting and passionate, because you know how I feel about this company. All right, so that's the presentation. Vegas, I just want to mention again, you know, if this happens, guys, we're going to be there in, what's the date? November the 8th. November the 8th, we're going to be in Vegas. There's plenty of ways to get there. Obviously, you're going to be able to go. The cost is going to be very, very inexpensive, but we've got really the top 10 producers. Now, that's whoever puts in the most gold and platinum IBOs has a chance to go to Vegas. So go to work now. You got plenty of time. That contest runs from August 1st, which is of course already started, until October the 15th. So take advantage of getting to Vegas for free. But it doesn't matter. The cost is going to be so low. If you can't get there for free, you just need to be there, because we're going to be talking about what's going to be happening at this convention here over the coming weeks. Next, I want to talk a little bit about a couple training things that I think really will help everybody get off to a great start here. Now that, again, we're in the fall and everybody's ready to go back to work. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is actually, you know, the thing we're doing with the VIP cards, and it has to do with activation. So bear with me here. I'm going to switch over to screen share. All right, let's take a look at this first screen. What we've created, and I showed it to everybody last week, is what we call an activation card. And all that happens is you're going to take your GoodLife card and you just use a little, you know, one of those little glue dots, and it sits right on top of this activation card. The purpose of this is because we found that when people activate the card, they use it. But what happens, a lot of people don't, because, you know, they put it in their pocket, they forget, somebody's handed it to them in a moment, or just real quickly. You know how it happens. You just hand one to somebody, maybe you don't say much to them, they got the card, they go home and go, well, what is this all about? I don't remember. They just lose it, or they put it away. Now with this card, that's not going to happen, because look what's on this card. It says right there at the very top, every time your customer saves 200, you make 100. Now, if you hand the card out the way I'm doing it right now, when a person sees that, they're going to go, wait a minute, I thought this card was about me saving money, not about me making money. Well, obviously, when you hand the card out, that's what's beautiful about this. You're going to hand it to them and say, look, don't worry about the money on the top. This is really for you to be able to save $200 on your travel anywhere in the world. Just take it and use it, and you're going to love how much you're going to save. But you guys all know, when you do that, it becomes a basic takeaway. So what happens if a person reads this? Wait a minute. Well, I don't mind saving the 200 because I do travel, but I sure like the idea of making $100 just from handing this out, because that's what a person's going to read. They're going to read the rest of this card, and they're going to see, wow, this is introducing the ultimate customer's appreciation program. You know, where, again, the customer, which obviously they're a customer right now, they can shop at wholesale pricing. They're going to save $200 on lodging. They got, you know, 950,000 hotels and resorts worldwide and all these vacation resorts. But here's what they're also seeing. Well, that's great. I'm going to save it. But it says, but each time somebody stays, it generates revenue back to you. So again, what you're doing is you're getting the person thinking a lot more than just the savings. I believe with this card, you're going to find that probably 50% of the people that activate the card are going to be talking to you about the business. Now, wouldn't that be amazing if you actually had that many people, rather than just taking the card and using it? And you didn't have to tell them. You do not try to convince them that, hey, this is a business for you. You don't even need to do that, because when you hand the card to, it's going to do the work for you. And I always believe in that. I mean, I like the simpler approach. I mean, obviously, though, I thought at one time if you lay these cards on the street, that people would act in it. We found out some do, but a lot of people don't, because they need a little more information. So that's what we've done with this activation card, is giving them more information. Now, if you look at what's on the back of the card, when they flip it over, it says, you know, the VIP club card gives them a free taste of GoodLife, and it explains, you know what we are. You know, we're a private discount travel and lifestyle benefits club. These prices aren't available to the general public. They can save on all these things: hotels, cruises, the luxury resorts, and it's also a very unique business and individual income opportunity. Again, they got the card to save money, but they're thinking, wow. So what the deal is, because it's cards telling them, hey, you know, if they save the 200, somebody's making $100 there. Now, at the bottom, what happens is when you give them the card, which is great for you, is that this is a perforated thing at the very bottom. All they're going to do is you're going to tear it off, but you're going to get their name and email. So now, no matter what happens, if they don't activate, you've got a way to reach out to that individual and say, hey, You know, you got the card, it's worth $200 in savings. You need to activate it, check it out. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It's the real thing. Go look it. And so it gives you a chance to be able to reach out to that person. So again, that's going to increase your activations. Now, look what happens here. When the person actually pulls the card off the front, because, you know, and they're going to do that when they get home. They're not going to do it right there. You're going to hand the whole thing. It's going to say, activate today and start saving. Because one of the things we found, too, is that when you tell people to activate, they usually will. So it tells them right there, activate today and start saving. And this blank area here, when they pull it off, guess what's going to be sitting there? Your name, your phone number, and your email address, or whatever you want to put on there. You can just put your email address. It's your choice, but it's a place that you can put your information. So again, if the person's looking at this card and they go and activate it and they go, wow, this is pretty cool. I think I'd be interested in finding out more about this business. Guess what? They can reach out to you immediately. And again, this one, you can hand this to complete strangers and you're going to get interest. Guys, again, when we started this, we said we're going to build $1 billion company. We knew we had the ability to make that happen because of this VIP club card. The only thing that was missing is how do we get more people activating the card? How do we get more people into the business? So that's why we created this, a simple tool that you campaign with all the things we're going to have, all these email campaigns we can create to reach out to them and touch them and let them know what we're doing and how exciting it is for them to use the card or to be involved as an IBO. So guys, this is going to be a tremendous tool. It's being printed now. It should be available sometimes in your back office very quickly. Put them to work. One short story, got to tell this to you. A gentleman came in here the other day and he did exactly what we're talking about. He got the card, he used it, he saved like $80 on his first day. I showed him this thing, and he was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I mean, I have so many businesses and people I work with, they are going to love this because this does all the work for them. Not only do they get the card, but it tells them what the card does for them before they even go look at the first video or before they even go activate. So guys, I'm telling you, this is going to help everybody really, really launch your business as an IBO with Good Life. All right. Next thing I want to go over quickly, and then I firmly believe in is the key for everybody being successful in life, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Next thing I want to go over is the new Quick Pay. As I said last week, this launches, well, we're almost there, September the 1st, this launches. So September 1st, this is what's going to happen when you're a platinum and you're going to be paid on 5 tiers of IBOs as they come in as customer members. Now remember, what's unbelievable about this when you're looking at these numbers is that, you know, we're showing this of, you know, most you ever put in is 5 IBOs and that those 5 each get 5. But you know, the way this works is since it's based on personal enrollment only to personal enrollment to personal enrollment, you don't have to stop at 5. You can put in 50 there. You can put in 100. Obviously, the higher the number of IBOs that you're actually able to put in tier 1, which pays you $100, by the way, for every one, it's platinum. The more you put in, the more you make there. But what's really powerful about this, guys, is what it's going to do for you when you start getting down to tier 3, 4, and 5. And you can see this. Now, this is for example purposes only. But let's face it, when you've got something as exciting as we have with the VIP Club Card, and everybody's interested in this thing, and then all of a sudden, you know, a person looks at this thing, this compensation, to see the presentation for the first time, and they kind of see this thing laid out this way that, hey, look, the Quick Pay is what's going to get you off to a fast start. It's going to make you some serious income during your first year in this business. And that's really what a lot of your income comes from that first year is really going to be from the Quick Pay now. But it's going to be a good income. Now, what's going to happen is then we kick into the team tree and the legacy tree, but the team tree is really there for that second and third year, you know, to build that residual income, which I think we're going to start talking about a lot, that, hey, that's kind of your quit your job money. Because now all of a sudden you made the money in the Quick Pay, and that's really paying some bills and making you some really good income. Now you've got the second year and third year money coming from your team tree, which is your residual. So now you quit your job and live the good life. And then finally, the third year forward is the legacy tree, and that's what it was designed to do. That's your retirement. That's so when you go down the road, you know, 4 or 5 years, whatever you elect for yourself, you're going to be able to say, guess what? I've made enough. I'm happy. Between my team tree and my legacy tree, I don't need any more. I can do everything I've ever wanted to do. I can travel the world. I can have all my time. You know, I don't have to worry about cost or expenses anymore. That's the goal here at the Good Life, is to allow that to happen to everybody that joins this company. Guys, remember, we're in our infancy. we're just getting started. But what's getting ready to happen, and I know this because I see all the work that's been put behind this and the platform we're building and all the problems we fixed and solved and all the things we're doing to make this card stronger and stronger and the report problem. I mean, we know we've had these issues. It's no big surprise, but that's what happens when you're a startup. And one of two things happens when you're a startup company. You either fix them and you go to the next level, or you don't fix them. Well, guess what? We're fixing them, and we fixed almost everything. We look at this ourselves, and you know what? We're probably 95% there. 95%, everything working the way it needs to work. We've got another 5% still we're not happy with, and we're working on that very, very hard to make sure it occurs. We know it's going to because we're putting in the work and the effort, and we've got the talent, the team to make sure that this thing is a total success for you. So for some of you out there that maybe have gotten a little discouraged or slowed down or whatever, maybe lost a few people, realize, guys, this happens in a startup. But the difference is you've got to look at the big picture. If you look at this big picture, you see an opportunity here that's unlike anything that exists in America. And that leads me to what I'm going to talk about next, which is, let me get out of the screen share here. And by the way, when I finish tonight, I do have one more announcement. When I do finish tonight, I'm going to finish with the announcement on the advisory board, because we have made the selection on those people who are going to go into the advisory board. So I want to announce it tonight, and I'll go into that in just a moment. But first, what I want to do with this whole series, again, called The Road Less Traveled, is I want to make sure that every time we do this, we obviously will cover the announcements and we'll get into the training like we just did with the VIP card and with the quick pay. But what I really want to do too is I want to start teaching, everybody that joins the club, what does it really take to become successful? And it's not just, you have to have the opportunity. That's critical. You got to have the opportunity. And I believe in my heart of heart, so that this is an opportunity of a lifetime. But the second thing is you have to have the belief. You have to have the conviction that this is actually going to happen. And that's where most people never travel the road less traveled. They go the way of the masses, which is mediocrity, to be honest. It's never having really a great life. And I believe that everybody has the potential to live a great life, but it's how you think. It's everything based on how you think. And so what I'm going to be doing with this whole series is I'm always going to spend a little bit of time of talking about what it takes to really, truly be successful. And I think it starts with your mind. And I have to go back to myself, and I'm going to share a couple stories with you tonight, but it really happens. It all starts with your mind. Because I remember when I was a kid in high school, and everybody used to laugh at me because I said, I'll be a millionaire by the time I'm 25. I'll be a millionaire. Now all my buddies knew me in high school, and they said, what a joke, Mark. You can't even afford to even have a car. You got to take the bus to school when I was going to high school. Even my senior year, you don't even have a car, man. We have cars. Some of us have cars. Well, I didn't have a car. But I said, I don't care. I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, why did I think that? Well, let me tell you a little story. I met a gentleman that became my mentor in life when I was very, very young. He was actually my uncle. His name was Paul Jones. And when I was really young, I went to see his home, and he was up in Richmond, Virginia. And I'll never forget this. I go to his home, and when I get there, because I'd never seen it, it was sitting way up on a hill and looked like the White House. It had the big white pillars and stuff. And I went to the front door, and they opened the doors, and there was these unbelievable split spiral staircases going up to the second floor. And I'm going, oh my gosh! Because remember, I was a poor boy from Florida. I mean, I grew up without air conditioning in Florida. That's the best analogy I can use of how poor we were when we were growing up. But I saw this unbelievable mansion, and this is my uncle. And I know that his family came from the cottons. They were cotton farmers. And so I said, Paul, I call him Uncle Paul. I said, Uncle Paul, I said, how did you do this? Because I was really interested, because I always wanted to be successful in life. And he sat me down and he said, Mark, what do you think it takes to have this kind of wealth and success? And I said, I don't have any idea. I said, I got to work hard. I got to work really hard. And he goes, no, I wouldn't suggest that. You don't really need to work hard. What do you mean? I mean, how do you get? He said, if you believe it and if you expect it. What do you mean by that, Paul? I don't get that. So what he did, he said, I'll tell you what I want you to do, son. He says, I want you to read this book. And he gave me a book. Probably everybody's heard of it. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I got that book and I went, oh my gosh. This was like mind-blowing to me that if you expected things to happen and you visualized things were going to happen in your life, that they would happen. But that's what I learned. He said, if you will take that information from that book and apply it in your life, he said, you're going to have unbelievable success. So I left there, and I never forgot it. And I started doing it. I started saying, okay, I've always told people I'm going to be a millionaire. I don't know why I used to tell people I was going to be a millionaire. I guess I thought it was funny to have everybody laugh at me. So I took that and I started applying the principles. And I started believing and expecting these things would happen. When I said I was going to be a millionaire, I said, I'm going to be a millionaire. So I repeat to myself over and over. Every night when I go to bed, when I get up in the morning, I will be a millionaire by the time I am 25. I will be a millionaire by the time I'm 25. You know what happened? I didn't make it. I missed it by about 9 or 10 months. It was almost 26 when I made my first million. It worked. And I was like, oh, wow. So anything you want, if you just put it in your mind, it'll happen. It'll expect, it's been that way my whole life ever since. I mean, I've been so blessed. And so I thought, it's time for me to start sharing that back with everybody that I know, that, guys, you can have whatever. I don't care what anybody tells you. Your friends, your neighbors, everybody. Most people will beat you down. They'll tell you all the reasons you can't have something. You know why? Because they don't want you to have the success they don't have. And that's one of the great things my uncle told me too. He said, Mark, when you're talking to somebody and they're telling you how you should live your life or how life's going to be for you, what you need to do is look at that person and say, wow, do they have the things I want in life? Now, if that person does, you might want to listen to them. But if they don't have the things you want in life, you might want to ignore them. So I started doing that. When I would talk to people and they would try to tell me, oh, you can't have this, you can't do this, this won't happen, I look at them and said, do they have what I want? No. And the funny thing was, when I talked to people that were multimillionaires and very successful business people, they were just the opposite. They were telling me how you can have it. Sure, you can be successful. Sure, you can have that. Why were they different? Because, see, they used the same principles that I now use in my life. They visualized, they believed it was going to happen, and it happened. So the last story I'm going to share with you tonight, I think it's really cool, is that about 3 months ago, my wife, who I love dearly, been married now over 10 years, she decided, because what happened was she noticed that every time we went somewhere and we parked, I always got the spot up front. She said to me, how do you do that? Why do you always get the front spot to any restaurant, to the malls, to the movies, to wherever you go? Why do you always get the closest spot? And I said, because I expect it. When I drive into a parking lot, in my mind, I visualize I'm going to have the best spot. Now, do I get it every time? No, but most of the time I do. Most of the time I do get that best spot. And so she kept seeing that, and she says, because I used to make a joke about it to her all the time, and she said, I know, you're going to get the best spot. I said, of course I will. And it would happen. And she said, oh my gosh, I don't understand that. So she asked me finally about 90 days ago, she said, I need to do something different. Well, because sometimes you don't talk to your wife the way you talk to other people. And she said, well, I do. And I said, well, you need to start visualizing. You need to start expecting results. It's about training the mind, training that subconscious mind. She says, what do I do? And I said, just go on YouTube and look under visualization. I mean, everybody's out there, and these are all great people that teach this stuff. I mean, from Tony Robbins to a lot of unknown people, they teach about visualization. Just go watch some videos. And so she did. She started listening to Reverend Ike and Tony Robbins, and I don't know who else she started listening to. Let me tell you what happened in the last 90 days. She's been a struggling actress for a long time, and she's done a lot of auditions for a lot of movies and never gotten the parts. And I used to ask her, so why is you don't think you can get the part? And she said, well, I didn't really think I would, but I thought I'd give it a shot, and I tried, but I handle the rejection. I'm used to rejection. Now, she'd done real well at other things and modern stuff, but she always wanted to be an actress, but she never could get the part. She did like some little soap operas and a couple, Spanish movies, but nothing major. And so she started doing her visualization, and she does it every day and every night now. Guess what happened? On her birthday, a couple of days ago, she had done an audition about a month earlier. But the difference was she believed in her mind that she was going to get the part. Now, a month passed and nothing happened. So she was telling me, she said, God, I really thought I'd get that. I believed I was going to get it. I knew I was going to get this part. Guess what happened on her birthday a couple of days ago? She got a call, major motion picture. She got the part. And she's like, oh, my gosh, this is amazing. She said, I really thought I would, but I actually did. And I said, you know what? That's the difference. You believed it. In your mind, you decided you were going to get that part. And you know what happens? When you have that kind of excitement and belief yourself, everybody around you believes it because it comes through. And so, guys, start with that. I mean, if you haven't done this in your life, please start doing it because it'll help you grow your business. It'll make you realize, I got an opportunity here at the Good Life, but there's certain things I've got to do. But you're not going to do them unless you believe there's going to be an end result that's going to give you the things you want out of life. And you have it here. you do have that end result, but it starts here. So we'll continue this as we go. I just wanted to get started with it tonight. Now I'm going to close with announcing the advisory board, because this is an exciting thing too. I mean, this is our first advisory board, and it's an interim board. Okay, and none of the rules have really been set about what it takes to be on the advisory board or not. So what I had to actually do was sit down and look at all the people, and wow, I appreciate the unbelievable amount of people that were interested. I think I know it was over 300 people that said, please put me on the advisory board. I'd like to be on the advisory board, and gave me the reasons why. And it was almost overwhelming looking at everything. So what I had to do, because I was going to put 5 on the advisory board, this interim board. And the permanent board will be actually elected in Vegas. Problem was, I couldn't pick 5 people. I just kept looking at everything. So, oh my gosh, there was at least 30, maybe 40. That I looked at and said, oh, that person's qualified. This person's qualified. This person. So I finally just had to look at it and say, okay, I got to pick 5. Well, when it was all said and done, I couldn't pick 5. I picked 10. So these are the 10 people that will sit on the initial advisory board. And this will be the last time that I pick it, because in Vegas, like I said, we're going to elect the permanent board, and we'll go into all the details, and we're going to set the criteria for what it takes to be on the board. Right now, there is no criteria because, again, we just had to, I need this board now because there's a lot of things we want to do between now and Vegas, and I need to start getting some insight from some of our field leadership. So the people that were elected, and again, please, for those of you that weren't placed, it doesn't mean anything. It just means I had to make a decision, and I looked at a lot of different criteria. I really looked hard and long. Some of the things I looked at, just so you'll know, is how long a person's been here with the company. If they've been here since the very beginning. That helped me pick the first couple people that have been here since the very, very first day we opened the door, and that was Hal Culbertson and John Stiglori. I picked them because a lot of people hold their favorites. Well, they're my favorites because they've been here from the very beginning. They don't do anything else but the good life. They believe in it with all their heart and soul. And so to me, that was a good starting point, was to have those 2. Then I started looking at, okay, who brings the next things to the table? People who have really been building and very, very successful out there at the very highest level. So that is the next 8. And a lot of you I know I've had a chance to meet. Some of you I have never met, but I just had to look at the overall criteria of your backgrounds, your experiences. The people are Buzz Clark, Nancy Howard, Kenneth Reed, Dave Struckman, Brandy Hubbard, Brian Riley, Franklin Collardo, and Curtis Cross. These 10 will serve as the interim advisory board until the end of the year. They'll still actually be placed on the ballot for next year, and the advisory board will serve for at least a 1-year tenure. So guys, congratulations to all of you, guys and girls, of course. And I look forward to working with you. I'll be reaching out to each one of you individually and talking, and then we'll start getting together as a group and start formulating a lot of the things that we're going to have in place and ready for Vegas, because that's going to be an exciting time. So with that, I'm going to say good night. I'll see you guys next week on the road less traveled.